my friends. Welcome back to this episode of A Sexy Confident Life. I am pumped to talk about motivation. My title for this podcast is the 3 steps for the pep talk that you need that's going to change your life. Because when it comes to motivation, you guys, there's only really 3 things that you need to do and you need to think about in the moment that you feel unmotivated. I know there are several things in our life that we're not always up for doing, right? That we're not always in the mood to do. We're not always like, yes, jazz, to do the dishes or to write that blog or to jump on a call or to shoot a podcast or to exercise or to eat the healthy meal. There's so many things that we're doing in our daily lives that we're not always super pumped and motivated to do. So sometimes we need that internal pep talk, I call it. And I give that to myself all the freaking time. So today is going to be like the shortest, sweetest advice that I can give you from my personal experience of what I do to stay motivated on a regular basis because I go through the ups and downs just like you. I'm totally human, totally normal, right? So here's the thing. There's really two different ideas that I'm going to convey to you in this 3-step process. So I get emails all the time. Anna, I'm unmotivated. How can I get more motivated? Anna, can you motivate me? And I hate to tell you this, but it is almost impossible to have a long-term success in doing anything if you're relying on outside influencers or influences to stay motivated. You truly have to find an internal motivation to have long-term success in anything. So whatever you're doing consistently that's getting you to an end goal, you're going to need to be internally motivated to do it on a regular basis, right? Those tasks, those goals, those objectives that are getting you to that big goal have to come from you. So I can pep you up and talk all this jazz and, build you up and get your blood pumping for what you should or want to do for your life, right? But when the music is gone and you're all alone, in your house, in your bed at night, looking up at your ceiling. And the conversation that you're having is now your own. It's nobody else. As much as you want to remember everything I say on every podcast or every other motivational speaker or every book that you're listening to or reading, however you want to think of it, the conversation in your head is the most important one. Would you agree? So this is really important because if you're struggling to stay motivated in the daily things that are going to get you to that next level in your life, and if you're in the sexy, confident lifestyle community, then that's what we're all shooting to do. We're looking to reach our full potential. We're reaching to that next level in our growth, right? We've got places we want to go and we want to achieve more. And that's not easy to do if you're not feeling the mojo, right? So here's the thing. When it comes to motivation, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the fact that your why for doing anything has to be stronger than your why not. I know that seems like common sense, but it is not common practice for people to evaluate that. Okay? So it's important to ask yourself that question. And the first step in your pep talk is assess. It's to assess, really, okay, what are my feelings in my actions right now? Am I dreading something? Am I avoiding something? Am I fearing something? Am I putting it off, procrastinating? You got to assess where you're at, right? And that's really important because a lot of times we're not really aware that we're dreading, avoiding, procrastinating, fearing different things that we're just not motivated to do. And until we get that awareness and we assess how we're feeling and why we're feeling it, it's going to be hard for us to flip the switch. okay? It's going to be really hard for us to flip the switch. So the second thing you really need to think about is, you know what? What are my values and my beliefs for doing this? Right? Like, why is it important to me? Why am I doing it in the first place? And I always believe that if you can't clearly decide or choose to do something because it aligns with your beliefs and what you value about in your life, then you're not going to do it. It won't be important to you. You won't be able to answer that question, why am I doing it? Why is it important to me? All right? And the last thing you want to think about is act. Right? You're going to just do or do not, and you're going to stop wasting your freaking energy worrying about it or stressing about it or feeling bad about it. Assess, ask, and act are the 3 steps to this pep talk. Now I'm going to give you some examples. I wanted to tell you right off the bat, because if you are done with this podcast right now, you can go on your merry way and you can start implementing this 3-step pep talk right now. But if you want some examples, I'm going to go deeper with you. So when you're assessing how you feel about certain things, like exercise, for instance, everyone's like, oh, I'm totally not always in the mood to exercise. I don't always feel motivated to do this. How do you get motivated to do it? That's just one thing, right? And if you're like, I really don't feel like exercising because I'm tired, right? I don't feel like exercising because I'm sore or because I don't have time. I feel stressed, all these things, right? So you're assessing why am I avoiding this? Why don't I want to do this? What am I feeling? What are my feelings and actions at this moment? Have you ever asked yourself that? God, I really don't feel like working out. I'm hungover, right? Well, then you know why, right? So it's not motivation. It's actually the fact that you drank too much that prevents you from having a great workout. So stop blaming motivation. Blame drinking, right? That could be so many different things. So you really, that's not everyone. I know that's a lot of college women that I talk to because they're tired. They're partying and they're studying and they're out of balance and out of whack with their health. And then they blame it on motivation. I'm just not motivated. It has nothing to do with your motivation. It has everything to do with the behaviors that you had the day before that make you feel drowsy, tired, and sore, or whatever it is that you feel, sick, right? So you've got to assess why you feel this way. What are those actions and behaviors that you're feeling? And then ask yourself, why, right? Why do I want to exercise? Why is this important to me? Do you have the answer to that? Have you developed the philosophy behind exercise and why it's important in your life? Because I know that not a lot of people have taken the time to do this and said, listen, if I want to be a vibrant and loving, patient woman with my kids and my husband, then I know that exercise it gives me that energy and strength to feel good about my body, feel good within my energies and mental stamina, because exercise provides a lot of those benefits, right? But have you correlated the fact that exercise does that for you and allows you to be an awesome mom and wife? And that's important in your life? That's important roles that you want to play in your life? That's why you're exercising? Or are you tying exercise to, well, I really want to drop a couple pounds and I've been trying forever, but it's just not working? That isn't motivating, right? Because the reason why you would press play on that video or get to the gym or go take that class, the reason why isn't strong enough. Right? Because to lose 2 pounds, it might not be a deep underlying value or belief that you really have, that you really need in your life. but being a great mom and being an awesome wife might be better motivation for you. I think about exercise as an absolute must for me to be successful. Like, I will not be the successful woman that I am if I don't exercise. Period. I believe that to the core of my being. I believe it makes me a better person because mentally, emotionally, and physically, I am stronger when I am fit. And so when I don't feel like going in the gym and I don't feel like exercising, because it freaking happens all the time, I assess why. I ask myself, why is it important that I go do this right now? Why am I doing it? And I answer that question in real freaking time. You know what I mean? Like in real time, I say, Anna, this makes you more successful. This is the key to your success. This is the key to your energy, strength, and mental stamina. That's why you do it. You better believe that when it comes to act, the third step in my pep talk, I'm hitting the gym. And you want to know what? I'm not pumped to be hitting the gym, but I know I need to do it. And that's the motivation. It's the reason why, stronger than the reason why not. Because the reason why not might just be, I don't feel like it. And there's this awesome quote that John Maxwell said in his book, The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And he says, it was something along the lines of action is not, feeling is not stimulated. Well, action is not stimulated by feeling. Feeling is stimulated by action. So when you don't feel like doing it, you don't feel like writing that blog, you don't feel like making those calls, you don't feel like doing your work, you don't feel like going to the gym, you don't feel like eating a salad, well, that's okay. That's normal. But you can't wait around to feel it in order for it to start like coming into your life, in order for it to become a consistent thing. You've got to act first. And that dictates how you feel about it. So I hope this is starting to kind of make sense. And I hope you're starting to think about the things that you're struggling with in your life to get motivated for, right? Whether it's a business thing, whether it's an exercise and health thing, whether it's a conversation thing, whether it is a writing project thing, whether it's cleaning your damn closet. I know I'm going into massive spring cleaning in my life. And I always remember the fact that like I grew up kind of overwhelmed and buried by a messy house and a lot of stuff. And it always made me feel just like, I just want to clean things. I just want to be like, I want to be like liberated from all the stuff that it just like, it's meaningless in my life. So every year I make sure I clean out my closets, I clean out my mental health, I clean out my body, I clean out the things that are like getting cluttered all year long. That's mental, emotional, physical, and actually physical in my desk, in my office. Like I go through my desk and clean it out. So I'm not freaking jazzed to do that. I'm sharing this with you because nobody wants to freaking clean their closet. I mean, unless you have OCD and you like love that stuff, which means you don't do it once a year, you do it like every day. But I do it once a year where I'm like, dude, all these papers, I don't need them anymore. All these files, don't need them anymore. Let's shred that stuff up. Go into the closet, get rid of old socks, get rid of old undies, get rid of old shirts, get rid of old jeans, get rid of old shoes. How good am I gonna feel? That's why I do it. I ask myself, why am I doing this? Why is it important to me? Right? But in the beginning, I'm like assessing, oh God, I'm dreading this, right? But I ask myself, why? Why is it important? What are my values and beliefs for doing that? It's so that I never go back to feeling that suffocation and that overwhelm and that buried feeling of just having meaningless stuff in my life. Not even in my head, not even in my body, right? So this is really, really important because this is very simple. And I think that that's why more people need to hear it, is like motivation isn't complicated. And I think it can get complicated because people they totally overwhelm themselves and they think they've got to be this peppy, motivated person all the time to really have it in them to do what they need to do to get their success or to get the result. It's like, no, babe, if you can simply give yourself this pep talk, then you're going to be more motivated more often to do the things you got to do to be successful and to hit your freaking goals. And that's what I want for you. Because you might look at me and say oh, Anna's so peppy, Anna's so motivated, blah, blah, blah. Do you know that I was dreading this freaking podcast? Yeah, because I've had a crazy week of travel and video and Luca's being crazy. And I'm just oh my God, I got to do this podcast. But it wasn't the podcast. I love shooting podcasts. It was the act of getting things set up, making sure my outline was good, make sure I get my point across, my message would be strong. It takes preparation, and it's that preparation and it's that time that I have to block when Luke is sleeping so that I have quiet time to come in and share what I want with my crew, with you. So I asked myself, why is this important? Why are you doing this? And I can answer that question straight up because this matters. I'm changing lives. I'm helping women be stronger and more confident in themselves to go out there and live their best life. And for me, that reason is stronger than the reason why not. Because the reason why not is simply because it takes effort. And just taking effort isn't stronger than making a difference, changing a life, motivating somebody, giving someone the tools to be self-motivated, right? That's what it's about. And so then I acted. I said, nope, this hour, Luca's down, I'm gonna record. And so really, really, really reassess next time you're gonna write me a message or share with a friend that you're not motivated. Because I want you to check yourself at that moment. I want you to assess, ask, and then act. Will you do it? All right, I hope you will. You guys, I hope you'll take this and implement this into your life. It's been game-changing for me. I know that it will be for you too. And so next time that you just turn it around, that's the message I want to get from you. The message I want to get from you next time is I wasn't motivated, Anna. I realized I was avoiding, but I asked myself this question. This is why it's important to me, and I freaking did it. That's what I want to get from you next time. Deal? Awesome, you guys. I would love to know what you think about this podcast. Please comment below. I love your feedback. #self-motivation. And let's do this, all right? Have an awesome rest of your week. I'll see you soon.